Hello, it's me, Daphne, and welcome to my channel and today's video, and welcome to my bookshelf. It is a bit messy. I had to jig it in an awkward way in order to fit everything, and there are books being double stacked down below as well, and I just want to reorganize it for fun. Plus, I've ordered a second Billy bookcase, which I'm very excited about. That's gonna go behind you over here, that I'm gonna do a whole new reorg for. So since I have this one, I figure since it's very full, we could reorganize it in fun ways. So we could do like rainbow shelves. We could reverse my red books to be faced backwards. We could do alphabetical. I just wanna play around with it for fun while I still have the single bookshelf. But let me quickly give you some close-up shots of what we're working with. Okay, so here's the top of my bookshelf. I've got some games and journals stacked up here. I've got some used Game of Thrones books and some nonfiction books up here. And then on the top row, I have a ton of Book of the Month books and some miscellaneous hardbacks and a ton of crowns. I realize I look like a crown fanatic or something, but the past year I've accumulated crowns. So like, this crown was from my bachelorette party. This crown was part of a Halloween costume that I didn't end up using, but it came with the sash that I wanted. This flower crown was gifted to me as a engagement gift. This little crown was what I wore at my wedding, and then this very large crown is what I did end up wearing for Halloween, which was a gift from a friend because I was like a golden birthday queen. Check out my Instagram if you want to see it. So yeah, I've just randomly collected a bunch of crowns, but it's not like a fetish or anything. It's just a coincidence. One of my friends from book club is really into crowns, so she's gifted me 2 out of the 3 of these crowns, and it just happened that way. Then I have this double stack of Jade City books, another series stack that I don't have space for, and then I had to like turn these horizontal so they could fit. I'm just like not prioritizing most of these books here on the left. And then down here is the shelf I look at the most as like my unread books, the books that I want to prioritize. But again, I didn't have space, so I had to turn them sideways so that they would fit more books. And then down here, some of these are read, a lot of them are unread. Here we get into the double stacked mess that it is, and most of these are also horizontal to fit better. A lot of these are new. I just did a book haul today. This shelf is a disaster. A handful of these books are also Chase's books. He's got like study cards that he definitely doesn't need. I've got a second monitor here. I'm sorry, you can see it in my trash. And workbooks and stuff. And like, this is a tripod. So that is what we're working with. I have a couple miscellaneous books under my coffee table here, as you can see, that I'll probably stack up into the shelf too if I feel like. But overall, that is my physical book collection, so let's play around with it. The fucking lighting in here is so poor, I'm so sorry. First step is take off all the miscellaneous items from my shelf. So let's take off all the crowns. And then let's just clear the shelves, completely take everything off. Oh God, is this a terrible idea? All right, I decided, let's just go for it. Let's just take the books off and let's do rainbow shelves to start. Quickly though. All right, the shelves are empty. So here's the mess of all the books on my floor. This is all the miscellaneous stuff, but this is all Chase's stuff. I'm not putting Chase's books back on this shelf for this exercise. So let's start grabbing red books. Okay, moving on to like yellows, I guess. Also, I don't know what to do about pink. Like I have like a pink, is that like red? So it looks looks great on camera so far, in my opinion, right? But we have a problem because I still have a lot of books on the floor, and it makes sense that not all of these are gonna fit on the shelves because I was double stacked from the start. So I'm just like kind of contemplating life right now. I don't know, unknown color. What color is this? Okay, so here is the result of the rainbow shelves. The sun is disappearing, so I'm gonna continue with the other orientations by author, genre, read and unread on another day when we can start with the sun higher in the sky. But yes, I'm loving the rainbow. I think it looks so good on camera. I will cut to the next organization method. Hi, I am back. It is another day to continue this video. For you, it's been 1 second, but for me, it's been actually a couple weeks. I've been living with these rainbow shelves for a while now, and I love them. I think they look absolutely amazing, but they are not that practical. It is very hard to find my books in this layout. I just don't like remember the color of a book versus like other distinguishing things about it, you know, like genre or if I've read it or not, mainly because that's kind of how I organized my books before, read versus unread, and then it was kind of a mashup. So the next layout we're gonna try is turning around all my read books. So I'm gonna leave them in this order and I'm just gonna flip them around so we can visualize how many books I still haven't read that I physically own. So it's gonna be like the perfect representation, which I'm curious to know if it's like more than 50% or not. It probably is. Let's find out. All right, here is the shelf with the read books flipped backwards. Let me show you a close-up. Okay, so I'd say it's mostly unread books, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. A lot of these are turned over, and I do like that you get to see like some of the books that I've annotated, which is so fun. And then some of them have like fun little tan lines on them from being in the windowsill previously. And I pulled them all out to be flush with the edge of the shelf, just so the smaller books don't get overshadowed. Also in this view, it becomes very apparent that I don't have any special editions. Actually, I have one special edition, but it's not on my shelf currently. There's not enough space for it right now, with sprayed edges. But like, besides that, I don't own a single sprayed edged book. And there are just so many beautiful ones. So I think like if I had a ton of them, it would be really cool to lay out my shelves this way. So like when I'm done, you can see another beautiful aspect of a book. Considering I don't, this is still a little hard on the eyes. Like if I wanted to be like, okay, let me find a book that I want to read, it's just like kind of distracting. And I just think visually it's harder to find books too. It's just a little like overstimulating for me. All right, now we have the worst one to try to do, which I already know isn't gonna work for me necessarily, and that is alphabetical. I do not pay attention to the author's name most of the time. So again, trying to find an unread book mixed in with the read ones just by the author name is gonna be not the easiest system for me, but I'm just curious to see what it would be like. I think it would be cool because then all the series will be next to each other again. I think I'm gonna pull some books that were excess over there back onto the shelves because they're series and that would look nice together. I'm gonna do it by last name, and this is gonna be some effort, so wish me luck. So like, why don't you come with me to like see maybe how I'm trying to organize while I do it? Me with all the stacks of books in alphabetical order, and now I'm exhausted and tired and I don't want to have to pick them up off the ground again, but also I'm like, oh okay, you know, we see them on the floor. Let me just show you. This is the A stack, B, C, not that many D's or F's, a small amount of G's, then we have a fair ton of H's, and then a big pile of J's, K's here, which are like all the same height pretty much. L's, which surprised me. Not that many M's. I have 2 Stephanie Meyer books and they're not Twilight ones. I only have 2 N's, a couple O's, a few P's here, 1 Q, which is fun, a couple R's. These 3 stacks right here are just S's. This is T, not that many. And then this stack is W, fair amount of W's, some Y's, and a Z. Oh, and then this is a T. So yeah, this is my stack. There were definitely letters that I missed. So no E's, no I's, no U's, which is interesting because I'm now a U as an Upshaw. No V's, no X's, Y, Z. Is that all the letters? So a handful of letters missing, but that doesn't surprise us. I'm kind of surprised I don't have any U's, which is just funny because now I'm a U person. I'm an Upshaw now since I got married, so no U representation on my shelves. Maybe I should write a book. No, I can't write. I can't write. Don't ask for that, please. Just look at my friends doing their NaNoWriMo, so we'll read their books instead. All right, should we bother to put these on the shelves? I don't want to do it. I'm tired. No, we should put them on the shelves. We should put them on the shelves. Also, it is night now for the most part. We're gonna continue on. Hopefully the lighting isn't terrible. I think this ring light is pretty good. Let's get to putting the books in alphabetical order onto my shelves, and let's see how we feel about that. Okay, I kind of like this. This is like so satisfying. Okay, why is the shelf short? I don't have this angled right. Cut off a whole shelf. Okay. Look at my eyes. You can tell that they're brown. Guys, I have brown eyes if you didn't know. They're not black holes. Wow, I like never get to see that my eyes are brown. Okay, anyway. I finished the shelf in alphabetical order, and actually I kind of was vibing it as I was putting it together. Like, it's really satisfying to just see all the series next to each other, to have like the precision. It just feels like a real library when it's in alphabetical order, which is fun. Yeah, it's just nice to be like, oh yeah, I have some Stephen Kings that I've read and that I haven't read. I really only read one, the others I haven't read. But like, to see them all next to each other is nice, by the same author. To see authors that aren't the same person but have the same last name is interesting. Like, oh, I have a couple Lees in here. all my Emily Henry books next to each other. Just makes it more apparent like how many books I have from one author. So like you can clearly see that I only have one Mona Awad book in my collection, things like that. So let me give you a close-up. So we go to A to Z, my one Mona Awad. I've got a handful of Frederick Bachman books. I've read 2, and I didn't read these 2. I didn't realize I had 2 Lee Bardugo books. Some series. I have an incomplete series. I got rid of like was it the second one? Yeah, I didn't like the second one, so I kept the first and third. I used to have more in this Evie Dunmore series, but I got rid of them because I didn't like them. Got a couple Heath books, my Emily Henry books. I have a couple Joey Hill books. I own more in my Kindle library. Here's another completed series I have. All my Bev Jenkins books. Now I can see that I have 6 of them. A couple Abby Jimenez. Here are my 3 Stephen King books. And then I have a handful of R.F. Kuang books that I've only read 1 of and half of another one. And then I have my Lees, so Fonda Lee series that I read all, and then this is also a person named Lee, which I thought was interesting. Oh, and my Stephanie Meyer books. I have 2 George Orwell books. I have another Taylor Jenkins Reid, but it's on my bedside, so it's not here. Brandy Sandy. I don't have any more V.E. Schwab, which is interesting because she's pretty popular, but I just haven't picked them up. My Horseman series, my Bronze Horseman series that I want to continue. I have 2 Beatrice Small books. I didn't realize these 2 books were by the same author. This was one of the early historical romances I read when I was a teenager and was obsessed with it. It's not the most romantic, but it's kind of epic, like it's her whole life. She goes through a lot. I have 2 Turton books. Love this book, bought this one, 5-star prediction, have been scared to read it. These 2 look fab next to each other. And I only have 1 Andy Weir book. And then I have my manga. And then my Z book, which I absolutely love this 5 stars. Let's finish my thoughts on how I like the alphabetical setup. I really like the vibe of it and knowing that it's just so organized. But again, visually, like my main priority is knowing what books I've read and haven't read. If I can't find the books I haven't read that easily, it's just gonna lower my chances of actually reading them. So, I'm gonna do the last 2 ideas I had in one. I'm gonna do an unread section and then a read section. And then within that, I'm gonna organize them by genre. To be fair, most of my romances are on my Kindle. So my physical book collection is a bit more diverse than like my actual reading habits, where I'd say it's probably like 75+% romance books. But I don't think these shelves are 75% romance books. Hold on, my dinner's here. It's from Spring Cafe. I love this place. I'll link it if I feel like putting this part in the video. But yeah, it smells really good. Now I kind of want to eat it, and I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna do those books right now. Am I gonna organize these books? It takes so long, and my food's gonna get cold. I think I'm gonna eat first. So yeah, I don't think 75+% of these books are romances, so it should be fun to organize them by genre. And then I'll try to keep the author, you know what? It's a super organization. So it's gonna be unread, read, then by genre. I'm gonna keep as many of the authors together. Maybe within the genres I alphabetize? Oh my God, that is a lot, but that sounds amazing. And I have excess books like off to the side, like all over the apartment that just couldn't fit all in the shelves. So I'm just gonna organize the books that I have on here. So that is like the ultimate, ideal, perfect organization setup for me, right? Unread versus read, and then with genre, and then within genre, alphabetical. My mind is blown. That sounds so amazing. So I'm gonna eat dinner really quick because my delivery is here, and then I'm gonna get to working. Let's get started with the final reorg. This has been a fun experiment. It's giving me a lot of ideas for how I want to set up my new secondary bookcase that I have here in the box on the floor, and we'll be doing more book organization with that. But while I had one, I wanted to have fun with this. All right, my game plan is I'm gonna take off the books that I've read and then see from there. Wow, doing this already, it feels like I've read a lot of books. When I flipped them to be like pages out, you know, like turned around, it didn't feel like I read that many, but like taking them off now feels like kind of a lot. Like, wow, that's a lot of books that I read. Okay, here's all the unread books left on the shelves. It's still a lot. And then the ones on the floor are the books that have been read. So what I'm thinking is I'll do the unread for all the upper shelves and then the read for the lower shelves. I might still put the series back together because having them broken apart kind of sucks. Oh, and now I gotta figure out the genres that I wanna do. Do I really wanna do that right now? Probably. I don't know. I should do it as like a test, right? I should organize them by genre. All right, let's move these around so they're organized in genres. So I'm thinking romances and then broken into that historical romance versus contemporary romance. We'll do just regular contemporary fictions. We'll do regular historical fictions. And then we'll do fantasies and sci-fis. And I have a couple non-fictions. I'll do non-fiction also. Okay, so this is what I have for contemporary fiction. Honestly, it's my best guess. I really don't know about some of these. Some of them might be more historical. I'm just doing my best guess. All right, and then starting at The Good Earth, this is my best guess at what the historical fictions are from here to here, and then down here. I don't know if Spinning Silver has romance in it. If it does, it's misplaced. If it doesn't, I think it makes sense to go just in like the historical fiction section. Here is my sci-fi fantasy section, starting at 9th house. I kept the series together. I already know this video has been 1,000 hours long, so I'm just gonna chuck on the read books in the same genre breakdown in alphabetical order, and then I will cut back to you. All right, I'm done with the read section now. It starts here, and I have the contemporaries, and then the historicals, and then I have one nonfiction, then I went into sci-fi fantasy, which I have a fair amount that I had to consider that, even though there was like a mix. So like I have Frankenstein, and I'm like, oh, that could be a historical, but I decided to do it as sci-fi fantasy. Same with like Dracula. And then I went into the contemporary romances, which I kind of have a lot of. Surprisingly, it goes from here to here, so about a shelf's worth. Then a couple like paranormal romances, and then a few historical romances to end it off. Again, there's way more romances on my Kindle. This is just what I have physical. All right, so that is the reorganization experiment, testing out the different ways I could organize my shelves complete. When I do my new shelves, I think I'm gonna have one bookcase just be all unread books, probably this one here, and then the one behind my office setup is gonna be my read books. So that will be fun. Would I recommend that you do this video? Not necessarily. This was so much work, and I know it's gonna be so hard to edit. I have so much footage to go through and like different cameras. I filmed some on my phone or whatever. These are just for my like booktuber friends. But I would love to watch you do this video because I'm sure it'd be really interesting to see. And like even if you have different organization ideas that you would do. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a labor of love on my part. If you did, please feel free to leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it, and obviously it helps out my channel. And I will catch you in another video. Bye!